Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and here is the final design of the week using the Nail Team glitters of the week, the beautiful Milkshake Elite glitters. This design I have used the lovely Leah, so to see how I've created this one, please keep watching. So for this design I am working on Liza, my red iguana hand. I've used the Gems extra long coffin tips, but I have cut them down to more of a short medium length. From the Gems acrylic range in this set I'm going to be using, as always, Crystal Clear, their clear acrylic. I'm trying something different with my setup today, so bear with me as I'm sorting it out. I am also going to be using a little touch of Peachy Peach. This is the peach toned cover acrylic. It is one of my absolute go-tos. And the colour I've chosen to use for this design is Izzy. This is beautiful green, and I thought would pair lovely with Leah from the Milkshake Elite Glitter Collection. I have also got these decals from the Decal Queen. I'll check to see if they are still on the website, but they are sort of like punk Disney characters. I've got about 3 sheets of them, so I thought it was about time I used one, and I thought the Tinkerbell one would go perfectly with the Leah Elite glitter. So those of you that follow me on my other social medias or watch my channel will know that Leah, the gel polish, was in fact the Nail Team colour of the week a couple of weeks ago. So we now have as glitter of the week the Milkshake collection, which is what Leah is part of, and the matching Elite glitter. So I have now applied my thin clear base. It is time to get into the design. So on the index finger I am doing a colour block nail. And I'm going to do this between the 3 colours, the Peachy Peach acrylic, which I'm using for this first block, the Izzy coloured acrylic, and of course the Leah Elite glitter. So first bead I have applied, and then I've pulled it down roughly to where I want the block to finish, and then I've used the brush to push the bead up to create a nice straight line. I'm doing it on a little bit of an angle, and I want to make sure I've got that wall. I'm not worrying too much about apex or the correct structure of the nail. I just want to get the design down, and I will encapsulate in at the end. Once I'm happy with where that bead has come to and it's sort of the right height, so I've got that nice wall for the next colour, going to let it semi-set, and then I'm going to come in with my craft knife, cut away the excess and straighten up that that wall of acrylic. Now I know I say this every single time, but I think it is a really important message. If you are not confident in using a knife on a actual real person, whether it's yourself or a client, don't. You can do exactly as I did and then just come in with the file just to straighten up that that line. You can use cotton or dental floss. Not that I've never tried those personally, but I've heard they work really well. If you are not confident in using a sharp craft knife, don't. You'll see I just added a little bit more just to even it out, and then I just tidied up that line. If when I come to add the next colour I feel it was a bit wonky from adding that next bead, I will just go in with the file and just straighten it up. While that fully sets, I am moving on to the middle finger, and I'm going to be doing an ombre with Izzy, which I'm working with now, and Peachy Peach. So I've applied Izzy at the tip and blended it back, and I've just blended it past sort of that base nail free edge, and then I will do Peachy Peach from the cuticle and blend that down. I will also be doing the same on the ring finger, just adding a little touch more at the tip because I felt the coverage wasn't perfect. Even though I'm trying really hard not to be super worried about things, especially things you can't see, I just felt it was a little bit patchy. So I just went in with a touch more, and then, as I said, I'm doing exactly the same on the ring finger. I'm going to let that set before I do the peachy peach, and I'm moving back to my colour block nail and doing the second block, which is Izzy. And I'm going to again do it on a diagonal line, but I'm going to do it on the opposite diagonal, so I've got a little bit of a triangle block. So I've got that bead right up to the wall of my peachy peach bead, and then I'm just pulling the product down to where I want it, making sure I've still got a wall that I can then put my final block of colour, or in this case glitter, up to. Again, not worrying about the correct structure of the nail, because I am going to encapsulate. I just want to make sure I've got enough height, ideally the same height as that first block. And then once I'm happy, again, I'm going to let it start to set, and then go through with my craft knife just to neaten up that line, make sure it is completely straight. I also want to get rid of any acrylic that might have come down the nail as I was sort of pushing it up with the brush. You can also buff over with a nail file. Just tidy that up. Again, you can use a file as well if you need to. I'm going to leave that to set, and then the last block, which will be the rest of the nail, I'm going to add the glitter. I'm coming back to the middle and the ring finger, and I'm going to apply my peachy peach from the cuticle and blend it down over top of Izzy. Now on this nail I'm going to be putting that Punk-Belle decal. You're not going to see much of the base nail colours. You can see a bit around the decal, but not a lot, so that blend doesn't need to be perfect unless your name is Helen, in which case, as much as I'm trying, I still like things to be just so. Especially at this point, I wasn't 100% sure how much of the nail would be seen underneath the decal. So I'm just feathering it down just over top of Izzy, so I've got a nice transition from peachy peach to Izzy, and then I'm going to do exactly the same on the ring finger. On this nail I'm going to be doing a little swoosh of the glitter, but I'm not going to be doing that until right at the end, because I want a sugared swoosh. So I wanted to make sure this ombre was a little bit better than the previous one. So the old Helen is going to come out here, and she's going to faff, and she's going to make sure this is as perfect as it can be in her eyes. I don't know why I'm talking about myself like that, in my eyes. So just perfecting that ombre, and then that nail will be done. We can move on, we can add some glitter and the decals. So just tidying up that cuticle, and now we're going to move on. Pinky, I'm going to do a full nail of this Leah acrylic. I think she goes really pretty with Izzy as well. So Leah, the gel polish, is more of a spring green. This is slightly more of a mossy green, but the glitter itself I think works with all shades of green, which I think you will see from this design. So I'm going to do a full nail of Leah on the Pinky, but when the nail is all encapsulated, I am then going to sugar the glitter over the top, so I've got a textured finish to the nail. If you don't like that feel, you can leave that part out, but for that reason it didn't matter if I sort of had not perfect full coverage, because it was all going to be covered at the end as well. But you know what I'm like. I'm then moving back to my colour block nail, and I'm going to apply the glitter as that final block, so from that line of Izzy right to the very tip. Then I will encapsulate this entire nail. What I did after I'd applied Izzy, I sort of encapsulated that so that I had clear acrylic to the height of the previous two blocks, and then I went back and checked the apex and where I needed a little bit more on the structure, but I did that off camera. That block is all applied now, so I'm going to move to the middle finger and I'm going to apply the decal. So wash of clear acrylic over the full nail because it's quite a big full cover decal, and then I'm going to let it go slightly tacky. I just find they stick so much better and I've got less chance of tearing or smushing them. Gently slide it off the backing paper. That decal has been sat on a wet sponge so that it was ready to use, and then I'm just gently patting it down so it's fully stuck to the nail. I'm not pushing, I'm not smushing, I'm just gently patting. Now this is the acrylic part of this design done. I'm ready to encapsulate all of these nails in crystal clear. Going to get the apex in place. I'm going to get all of the structure, make sure the glitter, the decal, everything is fully encapsulated so that I can then file these nails back to shape without filing away any of the design. And once they are all nicely filed, we are ready to finish this design off. And there is a little bit more to finishing this design than just plonking on the top coat. So here they are all freshly filed. They already look fantastic, and you could, well, I think they look fantastic, and you could leave this design as it is, but you know me, I like to go a little bit extra when I can, and that's exactly what I'm doing in this case. So give them a good clean over, get rid of any fluff or dust or anything that I don't want in the finished nail. And then I'm just going to get myself set up because I'm going to be sprinkling some glitter on the top of these nails. So again, I've got the lovely Leah. Just look how sparkly that glitter is. It is so sparkly that my camera went all out of whack. As you can see, it's gone all blurry and horrible, and I had to stop and start again. But I'm working on the pinky. I've applied the Tina top to the whole nail. You missed that because it was all blurry, so I cut it out. And now I've got my glitter, I've got a little scoop and a catch tray, and I'm just going to scoop over the glitter over top of the entire nail. So you can see I'm just sort of tapping on the finger just to get rid of any of the excess dust, and you want to make sure you don't like stick your little scoop or whatever you're using in the top coat, otherwise you're going to end up with a gap in your sprinkling. When that nail is all covered, I'm just going to top coat the ring finger because I want to do a sprinkled swoosh on that nail, just cleaning the others to get rid of any excess dust, and then popping in the lamp to cure for 60 seconds. I'm going to leave the pinky as it is because I want to double cure that before I dust off any excess. So I've just popped a little bit of top coat on my painted and posted palette, and I've just given that a good wipe because I don't want the top coat to stick to anything apart from that swoosh. And I'm using my Addison brush from Gems. So loading it up with the top coat, and then I'm just doing a swoosh down the nail, so starting at the cuticle at one side and then just down to the tip on the other side. So you could do this part before you encapsulate, so it's an embedded swoosh if you're not a fan of the sort of that sprinkled look. And again, if you don't like that textured sprinkled nail, you could leave that off, but I like it sometimes, so I wanted to go with it. So I'm just thickening off that line so that it's exactly how I want it. And then again, I am going to use my little scoopy and I'm going to scoop the top coat, scoop the glitter onto the nail, just tapping it so I get rid of any excess as we go. They give it a good tap, just wipe away at the side so I've still got a nice smooth side wall, and then I've popped in the lamp and cured again for 60 seconds, just giving it a quick dust off. I didn't want to do too much because I still want to make sure that swoosh is fully secured down, and I will do that with a second top coat. So I'm going to top coat the final two nails, and sort of bring Miss Tinkerbell back to life. She was looking a bit dull there before she was top coated, and we're going to really appreciate that glitter in our colour block nails. Pop in the lamp to cure for a full 60-second cure, and then this design is done. Where I've got the glitters on the finger, I gave them a really good wipe off. If you're with a client, you could get them to go and wash their hands to get rid of any glitter or things on the nail, but I just gave it all a really good wipe off, and there's the finished design. I love the contrast between the sugared glitter with the textured finish and the embedded glitter with my colour block nail. I think it just adds a little something different to the nail, and it's a nice alternative to crystals. I'll be honest, I loved how this design turned out. I know I say that quite a lot, but if you can't appreciate your own work, then why would anyone else appreciate it? That is my opinion anyway. I think, you know, you've got to back yourself. Give yourself a bit of praise and a bit of credit every now and then, because, you know, everyone works really hard. You all deserve it. So pat yourselves on the back as much as you pat other people on the back. That's my thought anyway. But obviously my opinion doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you guys what you think. So please leave me any comments down below. Any requests? You saw those decals at the beginning. Any other of those Disney characters you'd like to see in a design? Let me know. And please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to click subscribe to my channel. I'll pop the product details in the description box. Apart from the decal, which is the Decal Queen, I'll check to see if it's still available, and if it is, pop the link in the description box. Everything else is from the nail team. Don't forget you can use Helen5 for a discount on all full price products there. This is my last video of the week, which means from tomorrow we will have a new colour and glitter of the week. So if you want to get this glitter collection while it is on offer, get your orders in now. If you miss out while it's reduced, you can still use my code Helen5 next week to get it a little bit cheaper. That's it for me this week. Thank you so much for joining me for these videos. Thank you for watching this one. Check back next week to see what the new colour and glitter of the week. But enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you next week. Bye. Mwah.